Hi, my name is Diana VERDUGO. I'm a licensed Texas realtor, and today I want to talk to you about appraisals and why they matter to you as a buyer and as a seller. So let's use a house that just hit the market. It's priced at $150,000. You are approved, and you go see the house, and of course you fall in love with it. You talk to your agent and you tell them, hey, I love it, I don't want to lose it, let's make a strong offer, let's go in at $160,000 and have them help me with some closing costs. And the seller looks at this offer and they think, I'm gonna net $10,000 more than I originally thought. As a listing agent, you will advise your seller, like, this may not be the case, it might not appraise. If it doesn't appraise, you can lower the price, you can decide to terminate, refund the earnest money back to the buyer, or meet the buyer somewhere in the middle. Maybe the buyer can pay their own closing costs, maybe they can come with out of pocket and pay the difference between the appraised value and the sales price, but we won't know until we get there. And the seller is willing to take the risk and they accept this offer. The buyer orders the inspection, because they're paying so much above asking price, they get a little bit picky on the repairs, and because the seller is netting more, is thinking that they're gonna net more than they originally thought, they're more willing to make these repairs. The repairs are done. Now we're nearing the end of the transaction and the appraisal comes in, and it comes in at $150,000. So now we have to agree on which of these three options we're gonna go with. And whereas at the beginning it would have been very clear which option you were gonna take, at this point you've already invested time and money as a buyer, and as a seller you've also invested time and money. So it's not so clear what's fair anymore. And maybe the buyer doesn't have the money to pay the difference out of pocket. Maybe at this point the buyer does need help with closing costs, and so we're no longer able to simply renegotiate the terms as you would have hoped to do. And if you can't agree, now we have to start all over again. And that's not so easy to do. You as a buyer, you've already invested in your appraisal, which is gonna be $400 to $500. You've already invested in the inspection fee, which is gonna, depending on the size of the house, it's gonna run you between $200 and $400 in the mid-range price point. And time and probably stress. And as a seller, you've already taken your house off the market, you have already made repairs, and you've already made plans with this higher netting amount that you had in mind. So the moral of this story is, be wise about what you're offering, because as a buyer, if you're gonna start all over again, not only is it the money that you're invested in this property, but then in order to find the next property, you have to do your option fee again, you have to do your earnest money again, you have to do your inspection again, you have to order another appraisal again. That's a lot of money, and do you want to go through all of that all over again? Probably not. So be strategic about your offer, and my next video will be on what other ways, what other terms in the contract can you leverage other than the price. It's okay to do a little bit above asking price, $2,000. Well, I guess depending on the price of the house, but let's say on this house it's $150,000. You want to offer $153,000. Be prepared to pay your own closing costs. That's fair. It's the appraisal comes in and let's say that it comes in 150,000, it's more likely that you can agree on something at that point, and meet somewhere in the middle than if you offer for $10,000 above asking price. Then as a seller, if you decide to take something that's above asking price and take the risk of it not appraising, that's okay too. That's okay too, because the appraisal is going to come in. Maybe it doesn't come in at 153,000, but it comes in at 152,000, for example. Or maybe it comes in at 150,000, but you were giving the buyer some closing cost, and maybe now you don't give that much in closing cost, right? So it makes the terms a lot easier to work with. So let me know if you found this useful. If you'd like me to go more into detail about why appraisals are ordered, why they matter, who are they for, can you influence the appraisal? These are all important topics, but